Hey guys, it's Katie at scrappinkaty.ctmh.com, and I am sharing a shaped layout as part of the Let's Get Geometrical blog hop. So to actually create the base shape of my layout, I am going to actually show you how to hand cut it. I will be using a hexagon. I definitely could just run this through my Cricut using the Sweet as Honey digital collection, but I know some of you don't have Cricuts or silhouettes, so I wanted to show you how you can create this on your own with just a ruler, pencil, and then your cutting tool, whether that be scissors or an actual paper trimmer. So I have it here on my Versamat, and I am going to measure 6 inches on the left side and 6 inches on the right. And then for the top and the bottom, you're going to go at 3 inches and 9 inches. Now I'm making all these marks on the dark side of shortbread because I'm actually going to be using the light side of this cardstock, and I don't want to have to worry about my tick mark showing or having to erase those. So again, I've got 6 inches on the left and the right, and 3 and 9 on the top and the bottom. And then I'm going to pull out my paper trimmer and cut those. Now you definitely could use scissors. I'm not good with scissors at all. So a paper trimmer is really easy. You do need to be familiar with your paper trimmer. So I've got the steel rail trimmer, and so I know that when I close this little flap, my blade actually cuts right up against the steel rail. Now some cutters, depending on which one you have, they actually cut right down the middle. So that's what I'm saying is you'll have to be familiar with your paper trimmer. So I'm just going to cut from that 6 inch mark to this 3 inch. And then rotate my paper and then just do that all the way around until I have all of these cut. And then at the end, we will see that hexagon shape, which is the 6 sides. So again, that tick mark and that tick mark. And this one. Now you'll want to stick around to the end of this video. I do have some other shape layouts that I've made in the past. I just love the dimension and the difference that it adds in your albums as you're flipping through. So there is my hexagon shape, and now we can start building on this. So this shape definitely creates somewhat of an illusion. If you have it like this, you definitely can tell that that appears to be 12 inches. You know, I was contemplated putting it like this. It's still 12 inches. Let me pull out a 12-inch piece of cardstock to show you. But you know, it just looks so skinny all by itself. So I still think I'm going to do this orientation. I don't know, we'll have to see. But here is the photo I'm going to be using. Now, if you recall, I posted a video a couple of weeks ago using the same Sweet as Honey collection with these winery photos that we took last summer when we went to visit our oldest son in Virginia. And so I love that this layout is going to fit perfectly with that 2-page layout. So to kind of mimic the other layout that I did for the same winery trip, I'm going to pull out the spice marmalade that was on that layout, and then I'm going to pull out this stencil that I made using just the hexagon overlay from the Sweet as Honey digital collection that I used actually on a soccer layout. So I am going to just lay this here and just add some stenciling. Now there is going to be kind of a center patterned paper going across. So I really don't have to worry about the hexagons toward the bottom, but I do want to make sure that the ones toward the top, actually stop on a hexagon shape. Kind of had that problem when I was doing the soccer layout as well. So we've got that, and then I'm going to make one. Actually, I think I'm going to make a couple I want to make sure that I am the same angle, if that makes sense. So I think I'm going to do a smaller batch right here, and just those. And then I'm going to also do some down here as well. So far I am happy with that. I'm going to set this aside. So off camera I did go ahead and add some black re-inker splatter. And then I have got this piece of pattern paper, and I am just going to adhere it down the middle of the shape. And it is 5 inches, and I know that this little flat piece on the left and the right is 6 inches, so I just need to go down about a 1/2 inch. I could bring out my Versamat just to make sure it's straight, but I don't really think that that's necessary. Now I did leave the tops and the bottoms with no adhesive, and that way that's going to allow me, I really want a lot of layering on this layout, so that's going to allow me to add a whole bunch of layers underneath once I get my photos and all my big pieces in place. So this is my little group of photos. I made it in PicMonkey just by using a collage that had 6 photo wells, and I just dropped 6 photos in there. This just kind of summarizes the trip, and I've got that on 3D foam so I can again tuck a whole bunch of stuff underneath there. And then I am going to be using this mainly just for a landing point for a whole bunch of stickers, shapes, cork shapes, and then I think I'm actually going to do strip journaling down here. Originally, this was going to be my journaling spot, but I think I've changed my mind. Seems to be a little bigger than 4 inches on that one side, so I just flipped it over. It might also be because this does not have foam tape on it. Okay, so that's going to go down. Again, I didn't put adhesive right up next to the edge, so we can add just little details later. So I've just got some scraps here that I'm going to be pulling out. Of course, these cork shapes, I just love. They are with the Sweetest Honey. You can also color them using ink. And then I've got some little hearts. And then, of course, I'm going to pull out the sticker sheet and some stamps. So on the sticker sheet, there are a couple of borders. Now, those are 1/2 inch borders, and I don't want that much. So while it's still on the sticker sheet, I am going to cut it at 1/4 inch. And I know that this sticker goes all the way to the edge. So that's going to make that 1/4 inch. And then this one I can just pull directly from the sticker sheet. And I think I want it just right under this pattern paper. And then on the top, I'll put it right above. So for more of the layering, this is a pattern paper, and I call it newspaper print. Not really sure if it is. So I'm going to tear it and then put some underneath there. Go ahead and tear this bottom portion. To kind of lift up this paper. I guess I really didn't even really need that. So that, no, actually I might actually try to center it to stay away from hiding all of that. I mean, why do that if it's going to be hidden? And then slide this. So for the embellishing, I have sped up this video just a little bit, and I'll walk you through some of the highlights of the embellishing. So I just attached those pattern papers and then brought out the sticker sheet. And there was this one little pennant sticker that I wanted down at the bottom. And then there is this cute little stamp set and this PML card, so pocket scrapbooking. And it had these cute little labels on there. So I decided to fussy cut one of them out. And I am going to use that stamp set and stamp one of the, or a portion of the sentiment on there. So one thing I like to do with my stamp sets is cut them apart. And I don't mind cutting them apart. It doesn't hurt them at all. And it allows me a little more versatility when stamping them. So the sentiment that says every day, I'm inking up in black and stamping down there. And then the all day, I'm going to ink up directly onto that little journal spot. And then there are these kind of call out symbols that I stamped on there. And then this cute little bee that I decided to stamp near those hexagons. So here is where I'm pulling in those cork shapes. Now there are tons and tons of cork. You can see here there's outlines, there's solid, there's small, there's medium, there's even larges, there's even borders. And I just decided to pull a few as well as some stickers to tuck in behind the photos. And then of course kind of group in with those inked up stenciled hexagons. So for the bottom of this 4x4, the piece that's kind of like a landing page for all the stickers and stuff, there are a few images from the Sweetest Honey card kit. Now it is currently sold out, but these couple of images, they're just random words. So I inked up those in Heather ink. And then this sentiment actually goes perfect with this layout. So I inked it up in black, and then I'm going to use that little finger on some 3D foam tape to kind of call that out. And then I'm going to add another little hexagon and then also bring out some black enamel dots here in just a second and go ahead and add to those little groupings of the sponged hexagons and the cork shapes. So I'm going to use the black enamel dots and again, just kind of group those in threes. I love our enamel dots because you actually get 3 sizes in each package. So you can see here, I'm using those and then I'm also using the medium size to kind of frame out the edges of the photo and then of course that little 4x4 piece. So here is where I think that I am actually done with everything. And then at the last minute, I really wanted to stitch on this layout, but I was afraid I was going to mess it up. So I just decided to use a black journaling pen and then just add black lines all the way around. And you can see here I am using my T-ruler. A lot of my doodling, if you're a follower of mine, you know that I just do free-handed, but I decided to pull out that T-ruler. And then I am going to add just some heartstrings with that journaling pen. You'll see some close-ups here in just a second. And I think it just adds so much to the layout itself. So here are those little groupings. I love the dimension that the cork shapes and the sponge and the direct stamping on the layout. And then of course those splatters gives this layout. And then of course I love that it is a shaped layout. I will leave links down below to everything I used if it's still available. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. Before you go, I wanted to show you those 2 other shaped layouts that I made. They're super fun, and then the back side is just the layout before them. If you aren't already a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and sign up for notifications so you don't miss another crafty video.